Alright, the next problem that I'm going to do from 5.2 that I think people may have had trouble with is 5.2, number 55. 55 and 59 were both very similar, so if you didn't get 55 and you didn't get 59, then watch me do 55 here, and then go back and try 59 and check it in the back of the book. So it told us f of x was a fraction. In the top we had a 2x. In the bottom I had a 3x minus 1. It asked me to find the inverse, and then it talks about some domain and range stuff for f inverse. I'll focus on finding the inverse and see how long that takes. Here we go. So first thing we do is, instead of writing f, we write y, and then we do that because we always graph y equals f of x, and it's just easier to work with in this case. So I get 2x over 3x minus 1. Now, if you remember, tunnel analogy, boom, 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 f goes one way, f inverse goes the other way. Oh, here's my dog. You may hear her. Okay, so what starts as the x comes over here, becomes the y. For f inverse, then this switches. My input's always the x, and it shows up over here. So what I do is I change x and y. So I get x equals 2y over 3x minus 1. And now I need to solve 3y. Sorry. Now I need to solve for the new y. Problem here, which makes it harder than a lot of the other ones that you've done, is that the y, there's two of them. So it's a little bit harder to solve. And we got the fraction. In class we talked about two hurdles, and those were the two hurdles. So you can think about this next step in multiple ways. You can multiply by the denominator, the fraction right here on both sides, and if that makes sense to you, that's good. If that doesn't make sense, my suggestion is that you put this over 1, and we could do that because anything over 1 is just itself, so x over 1 is just x. And now I distribute the x in with those where those blue arrows show right here into those two pieces, which gives me on the left 2y equals 3xy minus x times negative 1 is x. Now I'm going to group the y terms. I'll underline the y terms in blue. Y term, and the non-y term is that lone x. In 59, I believe you get two non-y terms, so you would have two with that green underneath of it. Anyway, let's go back to red. I'm going to group the blues, the y terms, on the left side, and I'm going to leave the x terms, or I should say it as the non-y terms, the greens, on the other side. That gives me 2y minus 3xy equals minus x. Scroll down. Now I need to pull the y out from the left side. Notice, because we grouped them on that side, there's a y here and a y here. So I factor it out, which is the distributive property backwards. This is the more it's harder to see it pulling it out backwards, but you should be getting good at it by now. So when I pull the y out, I like to write y on the outside and then look at it and think about what I would need to put in the side of the parentheses to get the previous line. The previous line says 2y minus 3xy, so it's going to be a 2 minus, the 2 gives me the 2y, and then in order to get a minus 3xy here, then I go minus 3x. And I set that equal to x. Now, I'm almost done. Remember, I'm solving for the y. So, in order to finish this problem, I need to divide by this guy right here. The reason why I divide by that is it's just like an expression. Say we had 5x, I'll say 5y equals 20, and I wanted to solve for y. I would divide by 5 on both sides, and I would get y equals 4. If you look over here, this blue underlined piece is like the 5. So when I'm solving for the y, I divide by it. I'll actually go divide like that. 2 minus 3x. I'm going to show this work out just so you can see it canceling, and I get 2 minus 3x like that. Now, I'm going to just cancel here, like that whole thing cancels because anything over itself is 1, so it divides out to 1. Almost done, I swear. So that gives me y equals, hold on, I dropped a negative. Alright, so I get y equals negative x over 2 minus 3x. And that new y is f inverse. So I'll write it again. F inverse of x equals negative x over 2 minus 3x. And that is your answer. Boom.